While packing, my girlfriend said, "I'm going on a trip with friends, but you're not invited." I simply replied, "Have fun." I had already seen all the messages on her phone. Once she left, I packed up her belongings and put them into storage, then emptied the apartment myself and did the one thing she never expected. When she came back, she stood there in shock, staring at what was left in front of the house. My name's Andrew. I'm 31, work as a systems analyst for a healthcare company in Portland, Oregon. Not the most exciting job in the world, but it pays well, around $95,000 a year, and I'm good at what I do. I've always been the analytical type. The guy who notices patterns, reads between the lines, solves problems before they explode. That skill made me valuable at work. In my personal life, turns out it was both a blessing and a curse. Hannah and I met 4 years ago at a mutual friend's backyard barbecue in the summer of 2020. It was one of those rare sunny Portland days, and she was wearing a yellow sundress, laughing with a group of people I didn't know. She had this energy about her, bubbly, spontaneous, magnetic. Everything I wasn't. I'm more reserved, calculated. She made life feel less predictable, and I liked that. We clicked instantly. We started dating that August. By December 2021, we'd moved into a 2-bedroom apartment together in Northwest Portland. Nice place, hardwood floors, close to restaurants and coffee shops. We split the rent initially, though over time I ended up covering more of it. She worked as a marketing coordinator for a startup, but her income was inconsistent. I didn't mind. I loved her. Or at least, I thought I did. For the first 3 years, things were genuinely good. We had our routines. Friday night dinners, weekend hikes at Forest Park, lazy Sunday mornings with coffee and crossword puzzles. She introduced me to new music. I got her into cooking. We felt like a team. But around March of this year, something shifted. Update 1: it started small. She'd come home later than usual, always with an explanation that seemed reasonable enough. Traffic was brutal. We went for drinks after the team meeting. I stopped by Sarah's place to help her with something. I never questioned it. Why would I? I trusted her completely. Then came the phone thing. Hannah had never been secretive with her phone before. We'd both casually use each other's devices. She'd grab mine to look something up. I'd use hers if mine was charging. Normal couple stuff. But suddenly, in early April, she started angling her screen away whenever I walked by. She'd take calls in the other room. She set up a passcode, which she'd never had before. When I asked about it, she laughed it off. "Oh, I just kept accidentally calling people from my pocket. The passcode helps." Made sense. I let it go. She also started going out more. Girls' nights became a weekly thing. She joined a new yoga studio and went to classes 4 times a week. She mentioned coworkers I'd never heard of: Lindsay, Brooke, Amanda. She was always busy, always somewhere else. I'm not a jealous person by nature. I've never been the type to demand constant updates or get upset about my partner having their own life. But something felt off. I couldn't put my finger on it, but my gut was screaming at me. Then came Tuesday, April 16th. I got home from work around 6:30 p.m. The apartment was quiet except for Hannah's muffled voice coming from the bedroom. The door was half closed. I set my bag down, kicked off my shoes, and started heating up some leftover pasta from the night before. She was on the phone for about 15 minutes. I could hear her tone, low, secretive, punctuated by soft laughter. When she finally came out, she had this look on her face. Not guilt exactly. More like anticipation, like she was holding on to a secret she was excited about. "Hey, babe," she said, leaning against the kitchen counter. She was wearing leggings and an oversized sweatshirt, her blonde hair pulled into a ponytail. "Hey, everything okay?" "Yeah, totally. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something." I looked up from my laptop. "What's up?" "So, I'm planning a trip. To Cabo. With some friends." "Oh, nice. When?" "Next weekend. We're flying out Friday morning, coming back Tuesday." "That's awesome," I said, smiling. "You've been working so hard. You deserve a break. Need help booking anything?" She hesitated. Just for a second, but I caught it. "Actually," she said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, "it's kind of a girls-only thing. You know. No boyfriends, no partners. Just us girls." "Sure," I said. "Makes sense. Have a great time." She seemed relieved. Almost too relieved. "Thanks, babe. I knew you'd understand." That night, I couldn't sleep. Something about the whole conversation felt wrong. The hesitation. The way she'd emphasized girls only. The secretive phone call beforehand. Around 2 a.m., I made a decision I'm not proud of. Hannah was asleep beside me, breathing softly. Her phone was on the nightstand, face down. She'd never locked it around me before the passcode thing, and I knew her code. I'd seen her type it in a dozen times. 0525. Her birthday. I picked it up, unlocked it, opened her messages. The first thing I saw was a group chat called Cabo Crew Palm Tree Sun. There were 5 people in it. Hannah, 2 names I recognized, Kelsey and Britt, her actual friends, and 2 I didn't. Bryce and Jared. My stomach dropped. I scrolled up through the messages. Started reading. Bryce, can't wait to see you again, hon. It's been way too long. Hannah, I know. This is going to be incredible. Andrew has no idea, lol. Kelsey, are you sure you're okay with this? Like morally? Hannah, it's fine. What he doesn't know won't hurt him. Besides, we're basically roommates at this point anyway. Jared, you still haven't told him about Seattle? Hannah, God no. Why would I? He'd just make it into a whole thing. Britt, I still think you should break up with him before this trip. Hannah, I will. Eventually. I'm just not ready to deal with that drama yet. I kept scrolling. There were photos. Hannah in a red bikini I'd never seen. Screenshots of flirty DMs between her and Bryce. References to a trip to Seattle in February. A trip she'd told me was a work conference. I sat there in the dark, my hands shaking, reading message after message. Plans for shared hotel rooms. Inside jokes. Bryce calling her babe. Her responding with heart emojis. I wanted to wake her up. To scream. To throw the phone at the wall. But I didn't. Instead, I took screenshots of everything. Sent them to my personal email. Deleted the sent messages from her phone so she wouldn't know. Put the phone back exactly where I found it. Then I lay there, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. By the time the sun came up, I had a plan. Update 2 Wednesday morning, I acted completely normal. Made coffee. Asked her how she slept. Kissed her goodbye when she left for work at 8:15 a.m. The second the door closed, I got to work. First, I called my landlord, Gary. He's a retired guy in his 60s, owns a few properties around Portland. We'd always had a good relationship. I paid rent on time, never caused problems, even helped him fix a leaky faucet once. I explained the situation, keeping it vague but honest enough. Gary, I need to ask you something. My girlfriend and I are splitting up. The lease is in both our names, but I've been covering most of the rent for the past year and a half. Is there any way I can buy out her portion and take over the lease solo? He was quiet for a moment. That's rough, Andrew. I'm sorry to hear it. Let me check the lease terms and get back to you. He called me back an hour later. Okay, here's what I can do. Technically, she'd need to agree to be removed from the lease. But if you can pay an extra month's rent up front as a deposit, I'll draw up a new lease in your name only. If she contests it later, we'll deal with it then. Done, I said. I'll Venmo you today. Next, I called a moving company. Told them I needed to move a 1-bedroom apartment's worth of stuff on Friday morning. Scheduled them for 8 a.m. Then I rented a storage unit. Small, climate-controlled, across town on Burnside. Paid for 3 months up front. Thursday night, Hannah was in the bedroom packing. Her suitcase was open on the bed, overflowing with sundresses, swimsuits, sandals. She was humming along to some playlist, completely oblivious. I leaned against the doorframe, watching her. You're really excited about this trip, huh? She looked up, grinning. I am. I really need this, you know? Just some time to decompress. You deserve it, I said. You've been working so hard. She walked over, wrapped her arms around my waist. You're the best, you know that. I kissed the top of her head. Have an amazing time. I will. I'm going to miss you, though. Miss you too. Liar. Friday morning, she left at 7 a.m. Her Uber pulled up, and I helped her carry her suitcase downstairs. She hugged me tight, told me she loved me. I said it back. Watched her drive away. Then I went back upstairs and called the movers. By 8:30 a.m., they were at the apartment. 3 guys with a truck. I'd spent Thursday night after Hannah went to bed sorting everything in the apartment into 2 categories, mine and hers. Her clothes. Her books. Her stupid collection of decorative pillows that served no purpose. Her yoga mats. Her framed photos of us. Those hurt, but I packed them anyway. Her kitchen gadgets. Her scented candles. Her jewelry. Her makeup. Everything. The movers loaded it all up. By 11 a.m., everything that belonged to Hannah was gone, sitting in a storage unit across town. The apartment felt bigger. Emptier. Mine. I kept my furniture, my TV, my dishes, my coffee maker. I'd bought it with my own money at Target 2 years ago. By 1 p.m., I'd called a locksmith. By 3 p.m., the locks were changed. Then I did the thing I knew would break her. I took all her remaining belongings, the things that didn't fit in storage, like her bike, her potted plants, a few boxes of shoes, and stacked them neatly on the curb in front of the building. Everything labeled with her name in black Sharpie. I taped a note to the top box. Hope Cabo was worth it. Your stuff is in storage. Unit 237 at Secure Space on Burnside. You'll get the access code once you pay me back the $4,200 you owe me for rent over the past year. Good luck. Then I went inside, poured myself a bourbon, and waited. Update 3, she didn't call me over the weekend. I figured she was too busy with Bryce and Jared, living her best lie. Tuesday evening, around 7 p.m., my phone rang. Her name lit up the screen. I answered on the third ring. Andrew, what the fuck did you do? Her voice was shrill, panicked, furious. I could hear traffic in the background. She was probably in another Uber, coming from the airport. Hey, Hannah. Welcome back. How was Cabo? Don't you dare. Why is all my stuff on the street? Why can't I get into the apartment? Your stuff isn't on the street anymore, I said calmly. I'm guessing someone took it by now. It was sitting out there for 4 days. Are you insane? That's my property. Most of your important stuff is in storage. I left you a note explaining everything. You can't just. This is illegal. I'm calling the cops. Go ahead. I spoke to a lawyer Monday morning, just to be safe. You're not on the lease anymore. I bought you out. Legally, you don't live there. Gary will confirm that if you call him. Silence. I could hear her breathing, fast and shallow. Then, quieter. You went through my phone. I did. You had no right to do that. And you had no right to lie to me for months. But here we are. Her voice cracked. Andrew, please. Can we talk about this? In person? We are talking. I mean face to face. Let me come over. Let me explain. There's nothing to explain, Hannah. I saw the messages. I saw the photos. I know about Bryce. I know about Jared. I know about Seattle. That wasn't, don't. I hung up. She called back 9 times that night. I didn't answer. Wednesday afternoon, she ambushed me at work. Security called my desk around 3 p.m. Mr. Patterson, there's a Hannah Bridger here to see you. Should I send her up? No, I said. Tell her I'll be down in 5 minutes. I grabbed my jacket and took the elevator down. She was in the lobby, pacing near the glass doors. She looked awful. Hair in a messy bun, eyes red and puffy, no makeup. Same clothes from the airport, wrinkled now. Hannah, you can't be here. Please, she said, her voice breaking. Just give me 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I sighed, nodded toward the coffee shop across the street. Fine. 5 minutes. We sat outside at a small metal table. I ordered an Americano. She ordered nothing. I'm sorry, she started, her hands shaking. I know I screwed up. I know I hurt you. Yeah, you did. It wasn't what it looked like. I laughed. Actually laughed. Really? What was it then? It was just, I felt stuck. Like we were in a rut. Like we were just going through the motions. I needed something exciting. So you emotionally cheated on me. I didn't cheat. Hannah, don't insult my intelligence. Tears rolled down her face. I never slept with anyone. I swear. Does that matter? You were planning to. You lied to me for months. You went to Seattle and told me it was work. You invited 2 guys on a vacation and told me it was girls only. You talked about me like I was a chore. She wiped her eyes with the sleeve of her sweatshirt. I didn't mean those things. Yes, you did. Silence. What about my stuff? She finally asked. Pay me back the $4,200 you owe me. Then you get the storage code. I don't have that kind of money just sitting around. Then you'll figure it out. Get a loan. Ask Bryce. I don't care. I stood up, dropped a $5 bill on the table for my coffee. We're done, Hannah. I walked away. She didn't follow. Final update, it's been 3 months now. Late July. July 29th, to be exact. Hannah never paid me. She moved in with Kelsey, one of the friends from the Cabo trip. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she's dating Bryce now. Their Instagram official and everything. Good for them, I guess. After 60 days, the storage unit policy allowed me to auction off abandoned property. I sold most of her stuff, furniture, clothes, electronics. Made about $1,100. Donated the rest to Goodwill. The apartment feels completely different now. I repainted the living room a soft gray. Bought a new couch. Hung up some artwork I actually like. Started going to the gym 5 days a week. Lost 15 pounds. Feel better than I have in years. I've been on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice to feel like myself again. To not constantly wonder if I'm being lied to. My buddy Connor thinks I went too far. You could have just broken up with her like a normal person, he said over beers last week. Maybe. But I didn't want to give her the chance to manipulate me, to cry and promise she'd change. I'd seen who she really was. I needed a clean break. My sister thinks I'm a savage. She called me ice cold when I told her the whole story. I'll take that as a compliment. The truth is, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel bitter. I just feel free. I spent 4 years building a life with someone who saw me as an obstacle to her fun. Someone who kept me around for convenience while planning her exit. Someone who didn't respect me enough to tell me the truth. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just relieved I found out when I did. I dodged a bullet. And I'm never looking back. Edit 1 for everyone asking. Yes, she sent me a long email about 3 weeks after everything went down. It was 12 paragraphs of apologies, explanations, and promises to work on herself. I read it once. Deleted it. Never responded. Edit 2 someone asked if I kept anything of hers. I kept one thing. A coffee mug she bought me for my birthday 2 years ago. It says, "World's okayest boyfriend." I use it every morning now. It makes me laugh.